Alright, what's up? This is Michael from Denver Kaijudo showing you my Cobalt control deck. It's different than a lot of other Cobalt control decks. It's got a lot of different cards that seem weird and some cards that people think are pretty necessary in the deck that I don't have. But we're going to start here in the blue sieve. So for my bouncing, I have 2 Veil, 2 Rizolka, and 2 Water Spout Gargoyle. I like Veil because it's a shield blast and it's a good way to counter Infernus. It's one of the best ways I feel to counter. And then I like Rizolka because it's just Veil with a body.
And we'll get to why Rizolka's bomb in a second.
Rizolka's really bomb. And then Water Spout is late game. It can help bounce up Andromedas, Infernus, anything that's a problem you can bounce back.
And it can bounce itself, so you can keep repeating if they keep trying to bounce it.
Or if you get 2 on the field, you could just start a cycle.
Yeah, and it's vicious because like if they're playing 1 Andromeda a turn, most people don't have enough mana to keep doing that. And what it does is it recycles the Andromeda to make them deck out. So it's a deck out strategy too.
Yeah, well, bouncing Andromeda.
Yes,
pretty good. At first, I was like, I don't know if that's good, but then it's pretty much won me a couple games.
They have to place down the shields. Andromeda doesn't give you a choice. You have to place down the 2 shields.
Yep. And then last for the water sieve, we have our draw. We have Trial and Error, Spy Mission, and Logo Scan. Personally, my favorite draw card is probably Trial and Error because it helps set up for late game with Dracothane because you can search and discard Star Lanterns and stuff like that. And then Spy Mission is pretty good because it's a shield blast and then it's only turn 4. So if you don't have Logo Scan, you also have Spy Mission turn 4. There's Logo Scan, which I think is the best turn 3 play in this deck probably.
Unless you're playing Rush.
Yeah, and then there's better plays.
Just hopefully you have better plays.
Yeah. And then moving on to the Light Civilization, we have 3 Stormspark Blast. It's pretty obvious. Tap all creatures. It can help you live a turn. It pretty much guarantees you another turn, almost.
Let us say something about Stormspark Blast. Stormspark Blast, I understand, is not as essential as it was in the last few sets. I can understand running 2, but at least 2 in your deck, guys. Like, this card's, like, with blockers and against other control decks and everything, because people are starting to run things like Star Lantern more and things like that, you're starting to see a mass amount of blockers. Being able to just bypass those bypass those blockers with a card like Stormspark Blast is just heavenly. And it also buys you a turn if they hit it in your shield blast.
And also, early game, it's probably the best card to put in mana because you don't really want to drop other cards. Next, we have 3 Star Lantern. Probably, personally, my favorite blocker, or one of my favorite blockers, the block and then tap another creature. I feel like that's really deadly, especially when you get Dracothane later, and then late game you can just start tapping all their big creatures and start taking them down with stuff like Dracothane and Cobalt. And that's Star Lantern.
Yes,
next we have 2 Lyra. A lot of people run 3, but 2's really good because 3 it's like kind of clunky, and it's not a card that you want to draw into a lot of the times when you start storming the field and you start killing off their stuff. But 2, it helps tap down their stuff, blockers or double breakers if you don't want to get double broke the next turn.
And it's an anti-rush card, by the way, guys. If you can hold off till turn 6, or if you're ramping to Lyra, or however it works, you get Lyra out and you tap something that can be evolved. Even though it gets evolved, it's not going to untap because the ruling is you can't when you evolve something, it doesn't untap. So Lyra's just getting more and more powerful.
And same for Star Lantern. Star Lantern's extremely good against Rush.
And the other thing is, it's turn 6. So on turn 7 in Cobalt control, normally Cobalt happens.
Yeah. And then next we got our Enforcers, which is 2 Cobalts. 3 is...
Do we have 3 of these?
No.
No, we only have 2?
We have 2 Cobalts, 2 Canyon Skimmers, and 3 Chasm Entanglers.
Sure.
This is actually really good. 2 is good because 3, I've had times where I just have a Cobalt and no way of evolving it. No Enforcers or anything out. 2 Canyon Skimmers because turn 4 it taps. 3, it's like you need more space for destruction in this deck for the control part. And so just the 2 for tapping, and then the Chasm Entangler is just 1 drop Enforcer. So turn 7, you can just tap 7 for that in Cobalt, get your shield and going. And then
destroy.
Yeah, that's it for light. Next is darkness. For our returning back, we have 2 dark returns. Helps you get back Draco Thanes, Kinder Puppets, Lyra, stuff like that. And then we have Magaria, 1 Magaria. It's very situational. It doesn't help every game, but games where it does, where you get your Draco Thanes Terrapitted or your Cobalt's Terrapitted and you need stuff like that, when you can search back 2 cards, whatever you want, your opponent's going to be like, oh, well, now I have to try to get rid of that again. And then we have 2 Draco Thane, which I think is the best card in the deck because it helps get back pretty much every creature in this deck besides like Lyra, Cobalt.
This is the Infernus counter.
Yes.
The Andromeda counter, but mainly Infernus. This reason why we play Dracothane and we don't run any Andromeda is because it puts a halt on Infernus. You play it 1 game, and most likely you'll get a Rizalka back or a Fumes in a Rizalka, or however it happens. Those cards go onto the field, guys, because you're not playing them from your hand. You're summoning them from the graveyard, and it's not called summoning. It's a placing effect. So they go onto the field despite Infernus's ability. And so if they have no cards in hand and you play a Rizalka and a Fumes from your graveyard, that Infernus goes into their graveyard because you bounce it into their hand and then you Fumes it. It's one of the most solid ways to get rid of Infernus right now.
And then when you have combos like turn 8 Skull Shatter to turn 9 Dracothane to Rizalka Fumes, and then whatever they put down is just gone, and then it's just easily takes down their defenses. And then next we got 3 Scaradorable Gloom Hollow. Helps shut down Rush.
It's a staple.
Yeah, they can't get past it. Just pretty much slows Rush down. He's mainly just the Rush card for this deck, and Star Lantern. Next we have Staple, 3 Terror Pits. Destroy whatever card. It's a Shield Blast. It's just pretty destructive. Then 3 Bone Blades. This card, destroy level 4 or lower. Helps against Rush, Birds, and pretty much anything blockers early game if you want to get past blockers. But I think the best way for this is Birds, because Birds are bad.
Birds are bad.
Turn 7 Infernus and stuff like that, you don't need that.
Birds are bad.
Birds are bad.
Birds are bad.
And then last we have our discard. We have 2 Skull Shatters. We had this at 1 for a little bit, but after review, taking out 1 Fumes for another Skull Shatter, because if you put your Skull Shatter into mana and then you don't have another Skull Shatter, and especially if they're playing blue and they start drawing a whole bunch of cards, it's bad.
The also reason that we sacrificed a Fumes instead of another card is Fumes becomes less playable because of Herald. Herald makes Fumes less playable because you don't want to place Herald bait on the field. That turn 4, 2,000 is just not worth it. And that's why this card, Razor Kinder Puppet.
Razor Kinder Puppet is insanely way too good. Like, the best turn 6 drop, I think, because a lot of decks don't run stuff that can get it back besides Dreadclaw.
Yeah.
And so if they're not playing Darkness and you play this and you can drop their Infernus, or if you play this and you get their Dreadclaw and you drop that out, then they can't get their cards back. And so picking out whatever you want and just discarding it helps you in the long run, because if you can get rid of their Infernuses, their Andromedas, all their big attackers, then you can get rid of easily. And then last we have 2 Fumes, 4 drop, discard a card.
Standard guy, guys.
Simple as that. It's a very good card. And
this
Cobalt Control.
Yep. And say hello to Mike again. He's back on Denver Kaijudo, rocking it up.
Yeah.
He finally dedicated some of his lifetime. And
part of my lifetime.
what? Oh, and your playmat. That's from Pokemon.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, my playmat. I took first place in Salt Lake City Pokemon Regionals for the video game in Masters Division.
Whoop! That's what's up.
Yeah, so I brought it home. And hoping to do the same at these KMCs Longmont. If you're coming down, be great to see you. And if you ever want to play Skype, add me. I'll put my name in the description.
For sure. All right. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.